welcome to Tea with Honey. It's your girl, HoneyDaVinci, and I'm here with my first segment of the review. During this segment, I will be doing covers on my favorite TV shows, and you can suggest videos below. Tonight, I will be doing a cover on the mid-season premiere of Black Ink Crew New York. The season started off with, just so I can give you a recap, the season started off with C's and Kitty, building a relationship. Honestly, they were really showing more affection to each other. They were getting pretty close to each other. Kitty's mom passed away in the beginning of the season, and C's, got this big mansion for her mom passing away, for everyone to come down to the city where her mom's body was to be laid at, and throughout the season, you really saw the dynamic between Kitty and Caesar growing. And then towards the end of the mid-season, that's when Sky, they have a dinner together with the whole cast, and Sky drops the bomb that Kitty is dating Ryan, which is the owner of the main shop, 9 Mag in Chicago. And Sky is, pretty vindictive. I just have to say it. Anytime another female gets close to C's, it's like Sky for some reason just has it out for them. And then after dropping the bomb and C's firing Kitty and all of the works and the drama, and then Sky tries to have Kitty's back. But I wouldn't be in this situation if you hadn't have been running around spreading gossip, because it was never confirmed whether or not Kitty actually slept with Ryan. It was just the blogs were saying it because there was an event in Chicago and Tati and Kitty attended the event. And Ryan happened to be there, obviously, because he's the main shop in Chicago. And they took a picture together. Why does that mean that they're sleeping together? It doesn't. So I'm just giving you a recap of what happened in the beginning of the season, being that this is the pre-season premiere. So this is branching off of what happened prior. So on the start of the episode, you see C's doing a tattoo in a dimly lit room. And he's going over, what happened with Kitty and how he let his guard down and he can't trust people, and how people in the shop aren't taking his shop seriously, and how things just aren't going great on 113. After that, it pans over to the shop. And it has everyone in there partying, dancing, having a grand old time. And Puma brings a sheet to C's, and he's like, yeah, I got the numbers back for 113. This is what's going on. And it's showing that they're not producing any money. Which is crazy, because 113th is the main shop. That's where Black Ink Crew started from. So for them to not be making any money, it's clear that people are literally just partying and not working. So C's brings in Sassy, and Sassy's a day one Black Ink Crew member. She's been on the season since the beginning, but once Puma and C's clashed and they stopped being friends, and Duchess had it out for every female in the shop. So, she got rid of pretty much everyone over time, and she got rid of Sassy. Sassy went to go work with Puma at Arts and Ink. So after that, I guess since Puma and Steve's reconciliated, whatever, after they mended their bond, I guess it was natural that Sassy would mend her bond with Steve's as well. So Steve's brings in Sassy, and her and Puma are working together to basically clean up the shop, because all of his other shops like Brooklyn and New Orleans are all thriving, but for some reason his flag shop, which is 113th, is not making any money. So then you see Sassy in the front with everyone who's partying, like, hey, you guys, I'm all for the party, but if we are not making any money today, we cannot be partying. And while she's talking, Tati is on her phone just, texting or whatever, scrolling on Instagram. And Sassy's like, I'm trying to talk to you. Like, you know, can you give me some respect and listen to me while I'm talking? And Tati's just basically blowing Sassy off. Like, bitch, I'm going to do what I want to do. And she's still scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. So that's when Puma's like, what's up? Like, everybody's like, yo, Tati, what are you doing? Like, you're not listening. Hello. Hello. Earth to Tati. We're having a meeting. So that's when Tati's like, Kitty's on Instagram talking mad crap about us, blah, blah, blah. And then that's when Tati's like, and then she just Kitty this and Kitty that. And next thing you know, Steve comes out. He's like, hey, what did I tell you about saying that girl's name? So then that's when Tati's like, Kitty's on Instagram talking mad crap, whatever. Steve takes Tati's phone, throws it in the trash, and they're like, and then that's when Tati's like, oh, I'm gonna tell HR, and Steve's like, oh, Sky's not here. She was like, so where do I go when I have an issue with HR? Like, I need to go talk to HR. If she's not here, who do I go to? And C's like, you come to King C's if you have an issue or whatever. So after that, C's is looking around the shop, and he notices, and I believe it was the beginning of this season, might have been last season, but the beginning of this season, Puma, as like a basically a camaraderie or friendship, or just to like acknowledge that he appreciates C's for bringing him back. For C's birthday, he bought him this big giant photo of C's as like a captain, and like C's loves this photo. So he's looking around the shop, and he notices his big giant photo is turned around. So he's like, what is going on? You people are disrespectful. Why would you touch my prized possession? So he turns it around, and it's a freaking ransom note saying that, oh, we'll be in contact with you shortly if you want your painting back or whatever. So C's livid. Oh, you guys, who took my painting? Who took my painting? He's interrogating people. Who took it? And everybody's laughing. Ted damn near had an aneurysm. He was laughing so hard. So after that scene, it pans over to Dessalines meeting up with Caesar. Now, for those of you who don't know, Dessalines is Sky's youngest son. She has two sons, Genesis and Dessalines. Now, Genesis and Dessalines were both put up for adoption back in the day by Sky because she was in the streets. She was very young when she had them, and she was in and out of jail, so she couldn't take care of her kids, so she put them up for adoption. Excuse me. So that's when Dessalines is basically saying how he's been trying to get in contact with Sky, but he can't seem to reach out to her because they had their differences. And last season, apparently Dessalines was stealing from Sky, so she disowned him, and they had a big falling out last season. So Des is just trying to mend the relationship with his mom. He feels bad, and he wants to, apologize to her, and he's trying to get in contact with her, but she won't get back in contact with him. So he goes to the next person closest to Sky, which is C's. And C's talks about how he himself couldn't even get in contact with Sky because he's used to Sky blowing his phone up every day on some like brother-sister relationship type stuff. But even him, he can't get in contact with her. And he's noticing that this pattern of Sky's behavior is very resemblant of Sky's mother, who in previous seasons has just blatantly disappeared on Sky, where Sky was distraught and hysterical, trying to get in contact with her mom, trying to find out where her mom is, because her mom suffers from bipolar disorder. and sees is in this moment is noticing the correlation between Sky's behavior as of recent, and not even as of recent, over a long period of time, and in comparison to the behavior of Sky's mother. So while he's talking to Des, he's telling Des, like, there's an issue within your family, and you're seeing it in your grandmother, and now you're seeing it in your mother. And I really like the way C's deals with or communicates with Dessalines, because he tells him some real shit. He always tells Dessalines some real shit. It may not be the softest thing to tell him. It may not be, the most delicate way to put it. But he tells him real shit that he needs to know in order to toughen up and to understand what's going on. He could have easily said, oh, your mother, she loves you and all this other stuff. Yeah, that might be true. But what Dessalines really needs to hear is that your family has an issue. Your mother has bipolar disorder too. You've seen it in your grandmother and you're witnessing it in your mother. So she literally has a mental issue where it's not going to be like the typical relationship. There's going to be ups and downs. You never know which way it's going to swing. So, I'm sorry. I have a slight cold. I was playing with my god babies and they were sick. And, when you have kids around you that are sick, you're sick, you get sick next. So, I'm about to just take a sip of my tea. But anyways, so I really liked the way he interacted with Dessalines. After that conversation, it pans over to Sassy and Puma and C's are in like this vacant area. It's like an office, but it's kind of like, it looked like they were working on construction or whatever. It was really eerie, right? So Sassy and Puma, they were like, yeah, C's, we brought you here to like help you figure out who stole your painting. But really, what Sassy and Puma really brought C's there was to let him know basically how trash his shop is and ways to help clean up the shop. So they pull back the curtain on this big poster, and it's literally pictures of every person in the shop. So on the poster, it has the titles, Teddy, president, Tati, vice president, Walt, assistant manager. They had Kitty up there and she doesn't even work there anymore as brand ambassador. They had the titles of everyone. And they were basically saying like, why is Teddy the president and all he do is sit on the couch? Like, he is not president material. And why does he have a president title? So, it was funny because while they're talking to C's, C's know he did that shit on some bullshit. He knows that. He's been on that. People have been telling C's for every season, forever, that Teddy should not be president. He does not do anything. He literally comes in, chills on the couch just like this, probably has some glasses on, probably got a hoodie on, and he just chill and he be real laid back, real cool, calm, collected. He just, slide it in the chick every once in a while. That's all he does. Then they ask, why do you have Tati as vice president? Like, what did she do to become vice president? And then C's is like, well, she had to replace Sky when Sky went to Miami. And they're like, okay, so you just made Sky the head of human resources when she came back from Miami? And he's like, yeah, man. He gets all aggravated because he looks so foolish. He gets all irritated. He's like, oh man, go get to the point. It's like, you need to take away the power. There's no reason for you to have all these people with all this type of power and they're literally not contributing to anything to help with the business. Common sense. So that's when, after they do that, they literally pull out a slideshow of the artist. And they go down the list of each artist and give their opinion on the artist's work. So that's when the first artist they pulled up was Donna, which I personally am a fan favorite, is my fan favorite. So Donna, they say how she's been with the brand for a very long time, but how her tattoos are really iffy. Some days she has good tattoos, and other days she's misspelling words. She's making dark, blemished looking tattoos. And, you know, they were saying how, her work has been falling off. Then they go to Rock, which I didn't even know the dude's name was Rock. I'm like, Rock. I knew his face, but he's pretty new, so it takes me a minute to remember people. So then they went on the Rock and they said that his work is clean and that he's been bringing in money. They went on to Mike, and they said how Mike is literally a good artist, but all he's doing is partying. He's doing more partying than bringing in money. Then they went on to Bay. They said that her work was clean, but she's a little bit crazy, as we all know. Then they went on to London, which they went on to London actually prior to this when they were doing the titles, because London was like the event coordinator underneath of Kitty. But she never brought in any events. All she ever did was the one event, which was earlier in the season, for when C's got the mansion for Kitty's mom that passed away. And every single person agreed that they were not going to party that whole weekend because they weren't out there to party. They were there to put Kitty's mom in the ground. So this chick, London, who has it out for Kitty because Kitty is the next up. She's like one of those people that you work with that act like they're the manager and they're really just another coworker. She's one of them. So she's trying to do manager work, and girl, you're not the manager. So Kitty keep telling her like, yo, we're not here for that, because the girl keep throwing little jabs at Kitty, like, when are you gonna start look for us to do an event? When are we gonna do some partying or throw events for this? And Kitty's like, that's not what we're down here for. We're down here for my mom. So one day, while Kitty is out with C's looking for, actually they were going to meet with Kitty's dad to go, talk about, the situation with her mom passing away. And the dad was so distraught, the dad didn't even show up. While they're out doing that, London takes the initiative to throw a party at the crib without C's or Kitty's permission. Needless to say, when Kitty and C's get back, Kitty is livid. She's distraught. She's so upset because it's like, girl, what is you doing? So Tati even gets so mad that the girl not listening that Tati just straight starts swinging on the girl and throwing food on the girl and just trashes the party. Everybody gets kicked out the house. So they were basically saying like, Puma was like, I know I hired London, but I really don't even know why I even hired her at this point, because she hasn't thrown any events and hasn't even been at any of the events. So after London, they went on to, everybody in the shop gave everybody their critiques on what their position is. Then the next scene they pan over to is, the next day, because he hears everything they're saying, and they were breaking it down to them after they showed them the list, and in the slideshow they were telling C some real shit, like, listen, this is what we feel, this is why the shop isn't making money, these are the people who are valuable, these are the people who aren't, and you need to take away the power so that people won't feel entitled. and maybe they'll take their jobs more seriously. Hold on just a minute. Figures, my name is HoneyDaVinci. My show is Tea with Honey, and now I'm sick drinking tea with honey. It's pretty good though. Anyway, so it pans over to, because C's is like, we need to have an emergency staff meeting, let everyone know. Pans over, everyone comes into the shop, they wait in, C's comes in, he takes the seat at the head of the shop, at the receptionist booth. And you know, C starts telling me, like, you know, with this whole painting going missing, it really, you know, brought attention to me about how you guys don't take this shit serious and you guys don't respect me. Because prior to this, C's put everybody under a lie detector test to see who stole the painting. Now, yeah, that was a bit much. You don't give everybody a lie detector test. But, you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. But it really showed people's characters, because the people who were there took it as a joke. Some of them even left. Teddy didn't even take the lie detector test. Him and Tati, they both dipped off. And people ran out before the lie detector test was over. But he was saying how he realized from this moment that people don't take their job serious, and they're not taking him serious as their boss. And so he said there were going to be some changes. The first change he did was he looked at Bae and let Bae know that she does the best work at the shop, and gave her promotion to lead artist of 113. He then looked at Walt and told Walt that he's been with the brand for a long time, and he felt like he personally has betrayed Walt by overlooking him all these years, and he made Walt the manager of 113. Then that's when London's like, oh, all right, can we get out of here? And that's when he's like, actually, London, you know, you're supposed to be the event coordinators, but you haven't been doing any events. So, you know, mind you, she in the cut smirking, like, not taking it serious at all. Like, anytime I ever been at a job and we had a meeting and they was firing, well, not even firing, but like going down critiques on people's performance at work, I ain't never been sitting in the cut sipping tea and acting like, you know, it is what it is. I mean, you know, I may not be scared, but I'm going to be sitting there paying attention. I'm going to give my manager, supervisor, boss, whoever, I'm going to give them respect. She over there kiki and like, yeah, and she's like, well, were you at the last event that I threw? And he was like, yeah, that was the one for Kitty's mom's passing that wasn't even supposed to be done. And he was like, and actually, on that note, when I thought about you, the only thing I could think of is negativity. So, effective immediately, you're fired. And she was tight, and she left. Then, after that, he looked over at Mike. He let Mike know that Mike has great work, but he's been doing more partying than he has been doing producing. So he fired Mike too, and Mike was upset. Then he went over to Tati, demoted Tati from vice president to receptionist. She was livid, which... Yo, Tati is like delusional. I swear she's like delusional, because she's literally saying, I'm overqualified to be a receptionist, huh? That's what you came there for in the first place. When Tati first came to Black Ink, she came to be a receptionist and slash manager. I give her that. She was being the manager too. But girl, overqualified. You were underqualified to be the vice president. But anyways, so that's when She was all upset. And this is one of my favorite parts because Donna, I love Donna. I love her personality. She's like, yeah, you know, this is what I've been saying for the longest, and this is why you should promote me. She's like, and then she's in the confessional like, listen, if firing London and firing Mike is what it takes for me to become the manager of Black Ink Brooklyn and all this stuff, then that's just what it takes. And she stood up to C's and she was standing up talking like, yes, I respect you as a boss. I respect you as... She was just going in, right? Just kissing hella ass. Then that's when Steve's like, yeah, you know what, Tati, that's right. She's not sitting there acting like she's been demoted. That's when Donna was like, demoted? He's like, that's when Tati's like, I don't know what's going on. He's like, she's Bay's apprentice. And Donna was mad as hell. That was just so disrespectful, though. Like, if you really think about it, like, come on, C's. Like, you stay doing Donna dirty. And, like, she is so loyal. Yeah, she did mess up on a few tattoos. But you didn't have to make her the apprentice. You could have just, you know, had Bay checking her work, but not. I mean, I guess then again, at the same time, yeah. Yeah, she has been messing up. And when he confronted her about her messed it up, she didn't really take it serious either. So I guess so. Excuse me. That's when, after that, Tati got all upset, whatever. She's like, well, what about Sky? He's like, well, Sky's not in charge. I am. And then he's like, well, what about Teddy? He's like, Teddy ain't nothing. Sorry, bro. Not the president anymore. And everybody's like, oh, because like I said, since the beginning of the show, when he first made Teddy the president, people have been asking, why is he the president? Like, he does not do anything. So that was a real eye-opener for everyone that, you know, C's is taking it a little more serious, which I don't feel like C's is really taking it serious because, I mean, maybe because he got Puma and Sassy there, and I feel like they take business very seriously and they can help, you know, get in C's ear, because that's what C's needs. He really needs someone to be in his ear. Usually it's a female like Duchess or somebody that's in his ear telling him like, this is some BS. These people are not taking, you know, the shop seriously. Now he has Puma and Sassy, and I feel like those are good people for him to have in his corner, because everyone else, they see the turn up. They're not thinking about long-term business. You know, yeah, the turn up is great for the TV. It's good for the ratings. But long-term, this TV show is not going to be forever. Black Ink Crew is not going to be on TV forever. And therefore, C's needs something to fall back on. Now, obviously, he's made a lot of accomplishments, and he has a lot of shops open. So it's not like he's doing bad, but he can always do better, and striving to do better is the only way you're gonna get to that next level. So I think it's good he has Puma and Sassy in his corner, because everybody else just be kidding around, and when it comes to business, there's no time for kidding around. So next, it pans over to C's meeting up with Dessalines again, and Dessalines lets him know that he found his mother. And he found his mother by getting in contact with his grandmother, and he popped up on her. And this scene, like, even me being about to explain it, it really touched me, and it really is disheartening. So basically, he's explaining to C's that he went to go pop up on Sky. When he got there, they were very apologetic to one another, and they were on the right foot. You know, he apologized to her for hurting her and explained that he just wanted to mend things, and she told him that, you know, she loves him, and they hugged each other. After that, it's like you can kind of see the bipolar in Sky, because it went from I love you, like, and she just hugged him and embraced him, to her being like cold and withdrawn and like, yeah, some girl DM me saying that she pregnant by you. And that's when Desileem's like, well, I don't know what that girl's talking about, but I didn't come here for that. I don't care about this TV stuff. I care about fixing what we have going on. And then that's when Sky's like, man, you just here for some money. That's what you want. So then right then and there they start arguing and they start going back. He said some hurtful things to her about her. She told him that stealing is in his blood, it's in his DNA. That's what he is, a thief. He calls her a thief back, said that you stole from me. She's like, what I steal from you? He said, I'm sorry, getting a little tongue tied. He says to her, you stole all those years that you were supposed to be there for me. And then that's when she starts going off, telling him that she first of all, she starts trying to fight him. Once they start fighting, they get off the couch and they stand up. All the security guards are between them, and she just started going in like, I wish I would have swallowed you. I should have aborted you. I don't want you. Your daddy don't want you. And just like cutting deep. Like, I don't know how in the world someone could literally look their child in the face and tell them that. Even if it's true. Even if that's really how she felt in that moment. Even if in her heart she dead ass was done with him, didn't want to talk to him again ever in life. To say that is crazy. Like, how do you say that to someone that you gave life to? Like, that's just some next level shit. And while Desileem is saying this to C's, he's breaking down and he's crying and he's distraught and you can just tell that it's weighing on him. And like I said, C's told Desileem some real shit. I seen a lot of people who were offended by the way C's handled Desileem in this moment. They felt like how could C's doesn't know how to talk to Desileem? How could he say that to Desileem? C's told Desileem some real shit. He told Desileem, this is just the way it is. He's like, your mom never got that love that you're looking for. Therefore, she doesn't know how to give it. Now, people are taking that as he's encouraging Desileem to just brush it off like that's just the way it is. No, that's not what he's saying. He's not saying that. What he's saying is this is just the way it is. There's no need for you to dwell on it. This is just what it is. It's not going to change. That's what he's telling him. It's not going to change. Nothing you say is going to change your mom. Nothing you do is going to change your mom. This is what it is. Your mom has bipolar disorder. She is going to be here one day and down here the next day. She's going to love you today and hate you tomorrow. That's the way it is. And then he also told him that he needs to stay away from his mom. Focus on yourself. You and your mom, y'all need to focus on yourselves. Because y'all keep trying to connect. It's just going to, this is his exact words. One day it's going to break you and you're going to be acting the same way. That's some real life shit. He told him, what he's saying to him is, one day, if you keep trying to be around your mom, keep trying to build this relationship, her bipolar disorder is going to break you one day. And one day you're going to be doing the same thing to your kids. So the best thing for you to do is to stay away from your mother. And that was some real shit. It was. Because that's facts. That is an absolute fact. And as much as it hurts to have to tell somebody that they parent, they boyfriend, they cousin, they sister, they brother ain't gonna change. You know, because when we love our family, we love our family. We don't want our family to hurt us. Why? He asked C's, why she have to hurt me like that? And C's had to keep it real with him. And, you know, not for nothing, Sky meant everything she said. Yeah, Sky's bipolar. But she meant what she said, because she doubled down on it when she got on Instagram. She posted a picture and said, "You lost me when you crossed me." That's what she said. Then she got on live and said, "Oh, everybody want to take Desaleem's side. It is what it is. God got me." Girl, ew. That is just so gross. That is so gross. Like, and I personally love Sky. Like, I love Sky. I love her personality. I used to be like, Sky is like my spirit animal. Like with the fun and bubbly personality, that side of her is like, I like that. I like seeing people like that. First of all, I like people who are different, who don't just conform to the regular standard of, the way they carry themselves. I like people who are just unapologetically them. But, dude, this is your kid. Like, ew, it's just so gross. Whew. That's nasty. Like, in the words of Joe Budden, she deserves a nasty award for that. Shawty, here you go. Dang, you deserve the nasty award. You need the 2020 nasty award, because I doubt anyone is going to top that this year. And it's only March. That was nasty. That was so nasty. Like, that was so gross. I just can't even believe she even really did that. And she don't care. Like, she doesn't care. You gotta understand, yes, Sky may really be bipolar. She may wake up today and be good, to wake up tomorrow, be crazy, all that. But Sky isn't like the typical bipolar person. She has more than enough resources to go get help. And if no other time has registered enough for her to realize that, hey, things are getting out of hand, I need to get help, right now is the time. And if that didn't click for her, that I'm dead ass wrong for what I said to my son, then nothing will. Maybe she needs people to drag her. Maybe she needs people to tell her about herself, because too many people been kissing her ass. And clearly the fame has gone to her head. Crossed you when he crossed you, when he lost you, that's your son. He is the way he is because of you. Because of you not being there. You not being there you put those issues in him. You and their father. Not just you. You and their father. Come on. You are the seed to his destruction. Ain't nothing he can say to you to change the many years of hurt he suffered from knowing that you weren't there. You thought it was going to be easy to just come back into their lives. You saw how hard it was for you to build a relationship with Genesis. Desaleem embraced you with open arms. He never gave you a hard time. He never gave you a hard time. If this was Genesis, I'll be like, all right, they have that they bump heads. They don't get along. He ain't never accepted her from the rip, when she was coming humbly. But you can't say that about Desaleem. Desaleem embraced you from the rip. He was just so happy just to have you around. Like, how could you do that to him? How could you do that to him? Haven't you done enough? I feel like it was no point in her ever coming back into his life, or his brother's life, because all it's done is it just opened a womb. First of all, it opened a womb, and now it's like pouring salt in it. It's doing more damage than good. And that's why I agree with C's. They need to just stay away from each other, because clearly them being around each other is just really going to break Desaleem. And like C says, and then once it breaks Desaleem, he gonna be acting the same way, because that's what he's gonna be raised to do. So that's my take on this episode of Black Ink Crew mid-season premiere, season 8, episode 17. At the end of the episode, the producers came to C's and told him that they suspended Sky because of the incident with Desleen. So he let the shop know that Sky was suspended, and we'll have to check back for the next episode and see what happens. But again, my name's HoneyDaVinci. This is Tea with Honey. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you